Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to HCS Anaheim, our NA Regional Finals. 16 teams, 150K down in the final match of the B stream. Man, is it good to be back on the stream. I'm Shyway. I'm joined by Tony once again. Tony, welcome back. What a day we've had and what a match we've got coming up.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. We're talking OpTic going up against G2.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't wait. It's going to be pretty incredible. Let's jump into pools first just to take a look at all the action that's been taking place, because it has been taking place in 4 different locations here. Tony, take a look at these pools. Tell me what you see.
I mean, I see Cloud9 and Sentinels currently 2-0 at the moment. They're going to be going at it, and only one team can remain undefeated in that pool.
They already are, by the way. Sentinels C9 are currently facing off. You can watch that in the main broadcast.
And absolutely, and meanwhile, FaZe currently 3-0, and Fnatic, the team 2-1 in that pool. G1 1-2, and SSG, a partnered roster.
Wow.
One of the only ones that actually have not been able to come out with a win in their pools. They're gonna have a really tough time going into bracket play. Meanwhile, G2 and OpTic are currently undefeated. Most likely, they're gonna be going at each other. And once again, one team will emerge with a loss. Same thing with E-United and your Pioneers. So while you don't want to come out last place in pools, because obviously you're going to start off in the elimination bracket going into bracket play. Meanwhile, if you come out on top of your pools, you actually have a round bye going right into winner's bracket round number 2.
Right, Tony. So like you said, thankfully, regardless of what your placement is, you will still be in the tournament tomorrow after all is said and done, the dust is settled. That said, some teams are looking great, some teams not so great. It's unfortunate to see Space Station with an 0-3 currently, but hopefully they get their win, and hopefully in our series we get a nice close one. Of course, there's so many different places to keep up with the action in this tournament to be frank about it. We've got the Alpha stream. Currently, C9 and Sentinels are facing off there, so make sure you got that open on twitch.tv/Halo. We also got twitch.tv/Xbox. This is where we are currently about to witness OpTic going up against G2. And then we have Charlie and Delta. Tony, that's just gameplay, right?
Oh yeah, just gameplay on there. So like I said before, if you guys are any inspiring casters out there that want to kind of get their practice in, hey, go onto the Charlie and Delta stream, you know, kind of do a little casting practice on top of it, or you can obviously just watch it. But you want to be right here. This is the place to be. We're talking OpTic on screen right here. Twitch.tv/Xbox is where you want to be.
And another good reason to be here is actually, I'm going to hold off on that real quick and let you know in just a second. Actually, no, it is the Twitch drops. I was going to say it's the Twitch drops. This is also another way to get Twitch drops. Apparently, we've got multiple streamers co-streaming the tournament, as you can see on screen. Some beautiful faces. Nice to see Formal also, of course, as well, streaming. We know how much of a heavy hitter he is in Halo. Unfortunately, did not make it into this tournament, but hopefully we see a lot more of him in top competition. But also Uber Nick, Eli X, Drama King Matt, I believe, from Rustling as well. So quite a few different personalities in here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of Maniac, and I know King J very well. King J from Built by Gamers. Well, I think they'll probably be one series away from making it 2 here. Sadly, he's going to be watching, but Twitch drops on top over there.
Yeah.
And here we go.
And you can get him here, too.
And here we go. I mean, these Twitch drops, they're so beautiful. These skins, the battle rifle, the sidekick, the assault rifle, no matter what game type you like to play, no matter what playlist, you're definitely going to be looking good with one of these HCS winter skins.
They look damn pretty. So make sure you stick around in the stream. You can get access to some of those Twitch drops. In the meantime, let's zero back in onto the series, Tony. We got OpTic Gaming, we got G2 as well. OpTic Gaming just got off, my God, of a series just previously where they dominated. They've been looking good today. And in this record on screen, they're looking good as well. OpTic, in an interview with Ola, we're talking about how much this game has evolved, how much the meta has changed in this short period of time between Raleigh and now. It's starting to make me wonder if OpTic are in for a run or in for, you know, some success here in Anaheim.
I can only imagine so. I mean, you have Lucid and Trippy, who are 2 hyper-aggressive players who always win their individual gunfights. They're really exciting to watch, and they're kind of the leading slayers on this roster, and you combine them with the likes of APG, who doesn't mind doing the dirty work whatsoever, and Pistola, the flank wizard, if you will, always getting behind enemy lines. That is a tough team to go up against, but it's any team that is up for the challenge, it's these guys right here. Tell me about G2.
No doubt, big test for OpTic, but an equally large test here for G2. Of course, Straight, Sick, Guilty, Sabinator, and Tusk. Tusk the newer player to round out this roster. We talked about OpTic, the fact that he was previously dropped. He jumped on to, I guess, what was once unsigned talent, now XSET, or sorry, no, just jumped over to XSET. I take it back. But Tusk filling in this role is an interesting mix-up to the team, and I wonder if that's something that will favor them. Of course, we know they are a great team in the league, but OpTic, great? We're going to have to find out. Statistics show that, of course, stats lean to OpTic currently.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love Straysick and Gilkey. I mean, they've been around for so long.
Players.
I remember back in the Halo 3 days, I would watch them literally all the time. But also, you combine that veteran leadership with the new guns, with the young guns. You got Tusk, you got Sab, who can go toe-to-toe with almost anybody in the league.
Toe-to-toe with anyone from different Halos is their experience too, right? You got Sab coming up from Halo 5, Tusk, I want to say more predominantly Halo 3, but 2 players on the come up that I can't wait to see. So let's zero in on some individual players in this tournament here. We got Lucid, we got Sabinator up on screen. Some key players to watch, I think, Tony.
Yeah, both of them shooting 50% accuracy, so I mean hitting half of their shots at a minimum. Then you have the KD coming out of Lucid for 1.29. Meanwhile, Sabinator having a 1.01, and the average kills, 4 difference between them. Lucid, that leading Slayer, 20.5 average kills. But don't count Sabinator out just yet, because he's really good at getting that damage and allowing his teammates to come in to get those slays.
I think with OpTic, it's safe to say a lot of their game plan is kind of formed around Lucid's playmaking ability. That combo you call the Lucid combo, right? The heat wave plus the snipe, just testament to the fact that this man can control multiple power weapons by himself, continue to make plays, and I think OpTic supports that. Sabinator, though, a bit of a wild card, I want to say, by comparison. You give this man a sniper, he can suddenly pop off. He's very flexible as a player, too, so I can't wait to see where he fills in, especially, you know, with the likes of Straysick, with Gilkey on the team, and with their coach as well, too. They got Coach Callis to bring it all together, somebody that I came up with in the scene. Very knowledgeable player, or very knowledgeable coach, and I'm sure he's going to help ensure that they are prepared for a lot of the strategies OpTic are going to be putting together. These boys, they play fast.
However, on the other side of things, you have Coach Lunchbox actually sitting behind
even more
OpTic.
experience,
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, the experience on him as a player and also as a coach is probably invaluable. I'm a big fan of Lunchbox, and I wish kind of we had Roy and Lunchbox back on the team again. Who knows? Maybe.
We almost Roy has been streaming the game. He's been playing. He's jumped on status quo. That team almost made it, by the way. I think there was a heartbreaking result with, we had one team jump in last second. Not sure who it was that took the spot, but it was what, Flamesword, Enable, Roy on a roster. I hope we see more of these boys. There's so many talented competitors in Halo that are kind of coming back into the fold, and from other games as well. So competition, I mean, just everywhere, Tony. But OpTic and G2, the focus for now. I can't wait to see how it plays out. We'd love to see the layout of the series, too, so we can get a sense of where this is going to go.
Well, you know, it's funny because you have 2 different teams at 2 different points of where they're at in Halo Infinite. You have OpTic, for example, who they started off hot. Before Raleigh, they were
early on
really
they
swinging.
Like the number 1 team.
They were the number 1 seeded team, actually going into Raleigh after Sentinels World 2 was ineligible to attend. OpTic was the number 1 seed going into Raleigh. They've still been doing well, but everybody's kind of caught up. You know, Cloud9 has kind of been running things. I'm really proud of what Sentinels have been doing. Meanwhile, G2, they struggled big time. They were getting 13-0'd by OpTic and some of the other squads, but recently they have caught fire. Let me tell you, G2 have been playing absolute incredible Halo, and they've really started to catch their stride here in the last 3 weeks to about a month, maybe a month and a half.
So I guess the question here is, has G2 caught up and built themselves up enough to face a team like OpTic, or has OpTic figured things out, and can they start to meet the expectations that they've set early on? Because we have high expectations for them, and I feel like more recently OpTic have not quite hit it, but maybe they got a chance here, and maybe they got a chance in this series, Tony. CTF, Aquarius, Slayer, Recharge, Oddball on Streets, I believe, to round out the first 3 games. With CTF Aqua, do you think that there's, you know, any kind of hope for G2 against a team like OpTic?
Absolutely. I truly believe that. I think obviously OpTic are probably going to be the favorites on paper, but like I said, G2 have really been catching stride and have been getting better and better as time goes on. And let me tell you, man, Straysick, Gilkey, Sab, and the boys, they can really go off at any given moment.
They definitely can. They're going to have to do so quickly with CTF Aquarius. Very fast-paced game. The flags are going to be pulled out immediately off that opening strat, right? You win the opening, you get the heat wave, get the dynamo, especially over through car side too. You can grab that flag and run it straight through that utility side. So we'll see who kind of pushes through off that opening strat. Tony, what would be your, I guess, ultimate keys to success coming into Aquarius CTF?
For me, it's all about grabbing that thrust and controlling the car side of the map. I think the car is the more dominant side of the map, especially when you get into your opponent's utility. You have multiple exits to get out. You have a clear line of sight over towards that fridge spawn, which can be really bad for the enemy team. As you're running the flag. You can obviously go toward that dynamo side. I think it's the safer side, especially for the spawners that are going in on the fridge side. I hate spawning in fridge. Nades are raining down. There's only 2 ways to get out. It's not good for me.
Exactly. It's the combo of the fact that spawning in fridge sucks, and running a car is amazing. It's a safe way to run it. So typically you never see a pink side run. If anything, you might see a transition to bottom mid, depending on how things are going. When they run the flag, they might take it through mid. But pink side almost never grabbed, and I think a big part of that is because of the defense that you have, the angles that you have on car side, and the ever-present dynamos. Of course, the heat wave, as powerful as it is, it's just not going to spawn as frequently as those dynamo nades. So some teams, like I know Ryan Noob, for example, will even elect to, let's say he spawns fridge, he'll double back to his base and fight from base to car and go that way. He won't even rotate through pink. Though I do find, to counter that, you could overextend, maybe through pink side. You got the long ramps. You try to fly through quickly, but generally just seems like car's the play. So we'll see how they play it.
Yeah, especially with the dynamo nades, like you said, coming out so fast. I mean, literally, you should be timing those dynamo nades every time they come up. But here we are. Game number 1, landing here on Aquarius. You have the camouflage in the middle of the map. 2 thrusters, 1 on each side. You heard it mentioned before. Heat wave, dynamo grenades, they will come into play. Whoever is able to control the center portion of the map is going to come out on top. OpTic and G2 are well aware of it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. This is it, the final match of the day on the B stream. The final match we're casting, Tony, so I hope you're ready to bring your A game for this one. OpTic Gaming looking to prove that they can meet the expectations, prove that they can be back on top like they started in Halo Infinite, especially on LAN, right? On LAN, we want to see these boys pop off. G2, though, can they shut them down? Can G2 show us that they're next up instead? This is the proving grounds in a great way, I think, to start the Friday and to kick off a very intense weekend once we move into the bracket.
So, Alex, I got to ask you, who's your player to watch out for on OpTic? Who's going to be the difference maker coming in to this series?
I mean, I can't take my eyes off Lucid. He's on top of just being he's a handsome guy, right? He's a playmaker. You can't deny it, right? The moment he picks up a heat wave or any kind of a power-up, he's going to take full advantage of it, even if it's not a power-up. I've seen the man pick up the carbine.
Oh, yeah.
On this map, plasma carbine, and just grab, what did he grab? Almost a Kilimanjaro.
He dropped a triple,
He dropped a triple, and yeah, he was seconds away, I think, from a Kilimanjaro with the freaking carbine. So what can this man do? Apparently anything if you put him in a great spot on the map. We'll see. Of course, Sab, the other man to watch here on G2. So we will kick things off in our final series of the day with Sab.
Both of these teams going immediately to control that car side and that mid control so they can grab hold of the camouflage, which ends up coming into play. You already seen that dynamo grenades that we talked about before coming in, making that player one-shot. Sab getting an easy melee kill, and the first flag is already pulled.
That's beautiful out of G2 to take advantage of both the dynamos and the slays they got too. Sap shutting down Lucid, gave him an early opportunity to pick up the flag, and he brings it straight on through the utility. Uncontested too, the man hasn't gotten shot yet, and I don't think he will at this rate till the last links to plant the flag. Beautiful gameplay out of G2. They get an early flag off of it.
All right, well, we said OpTic might be the better team on paper, but G2 looking to make some waves immediately as the second flag cap is making it over towards the base, and not a single shot fired here towards Tusk.
What? OpTic Gaming, I'm wondering what's going on here as they try to gather their footing early on. They finally do manage to get some defense here. Gilkey under fire, and 2 will fly in, get the return as well, so OpTic, they're back in. G2 do not cap 2 in a row. Would have been rough. A rough way to start. Thankfully, Ola and the boys are here to defend it.
The Wizard making his way over toward the utility side, has a teammate with them covering his back beautifully as the kill comes in, taking down Tusk. But multiple players are starting to fall here for OpTic, and G2 can still take advantage of these numbers.
G2 definitely still in a great spot, assuming they can win their fights, get the re like they did. got back on board with Gilkey as well. Less than 10 seconds left for the camo to spawn up here, so just needs to preserve his life. Shots into APG. Great shots at that. He'll take the kill. Looks like Straight Sick was in position, though. Got Lucid here as well. Nice little 1v1 that Lucid will walk away with. Positioning onto Carr because of it, too.
He doesn't lose many 1v1 battles. If there's
really
any player I wouldn't want to challenge on the map, it might just be him. Or Pistola with a camouflage who ends up going down immediately, as once again, G2 still having numbers in their favor. And that's, I mean, once you have the numbers, you can really start to get aggressive and put the pressure on your opponent. That's exactly what G2 is doing.
G2 under pressure, though, currently. Tusk, we're on board with him. A lot of pressure, I think, on this man's shoulders, jumping onto G2 in place of OpTic. Is he a difference maker for his team? Thankfully running with the team as he moves up through utility. Here, shots into Ola as well. Can he stay up, though? Not quite. The two-man push gonna come straight into utility. Trippy gonna take advantage as well. And another kill on the feed and a chance for OpTic to move up, take center map here, too. We've got the Dynamos on Pistola, so he could put something together here.
Every 30 seconds, those come up, and Pistola grabbing them right as they do. The sidekick comes into play, ends up getting the melee, but not able to utilize those overpowered grenades. 2 down, make that 3 down, go G2, and OpTic are on the offense. But hold on, Straight Sick ends up going down.
OpTic still hammering the doors here. Trippy gonna try to get to the flag. Thankfully, we've got Ola down low to help him out, so Trippy gonna dive and try to shoot as he goes. Gilkey spawning up in Fridge there, going to put some damage in to make things difficult, but Ola in position to collect and escort the flag. Can't quite get it through pink. And things are looking scrappy here, but if OpTic can take their trades, they should be able to move the flag through. We got APG with a kill on the feed already. Ola looking like he's in the clear. Assuming he gets through, doesn't quite, but the flag's so close now.
Still a 1-0 lead going in favor of G2. OpTic able to get the flag over towards the stairs, but the relay is coming in out of Trippy. And there we go, the nades are flying in, but it's not gonna be enough. We are tied up at 1 apiece as OpTic put their first on the board.
And Trippy stays alive, too. Having that body there, line of defense to ensure that G2 don't just get away with a counter pull. As I say it, though, Tusk does have Dynamos and camo. You can see he's tagging up Ola as well. Ola, not too much you can do in that position. It's just going to slowly whittle away the shields until the nade does the trick. Got great positioning off of it. Almost shot the teammate there, too, but Sab's here to help.
The combination of damage information that the Dynamo grenades give you, that's what makes them so powerful, as Tusk able to find out exactly where that player is, and a couple of nades go in, takes him down, and Tusk doesn't take any damage while doing so, and gets free reign in the base.
Nice.
Goes in for the challenge with the APG, ends up getting the first kill, utilizes the first to get the second one, and Tusk already starting to heat up, gets a hold of the heat wave, but they finally are able to shut him down.
Trippy somehow not able to return a beatdown there. Tusk walks away with a double. They almost get a flag off it. Thankfully, Lucid in position to turn the tides. Lucid still up on Dynamo. Straight Sick wants a piece, though. Lucid with the sidekick and a delete Sab. Can't quite get the second, though. Straight Sick gonna shut him down. Keep things at 1 apiece. Scrappy fights here mid-map, Tony. Nobody quite able to break away.
Yeah, but both of these teams are starting to heat up now in this game number 1. You have Tusk already 10 and 7. APG and Lucid both in double-digit kills, and even Pistola is hitting perfect kills over towards the P side of the map. So things are going to start to speed up real soon. I can just feel it.
Feel the wind blowing is what you're saying. Momentum might swing any second here. Sab with a kill onto Ola. Gilkey with one as well. APG with the trade. So once again, I'd say even trades. Back and forth here. Tusk and Straight Sick with 2 big opening kills, though. That gives him a chance to move up through utility. Straight Sick, he's got his teammate left-hand side to help out, too. So beauty shots onto Ola to back him off. Can he stay up, though? And can they push on through utility to take advantage of the weak players? You can see Tusk is already doing it. APG somehow grabs Straight Sick. He flanks through. And then Trippy with Tusk. So once again, G2 not quite able to break away with that strategy. And Gilkey, I don't know if he can break away. Yeah, not going to break away with that camo.
And that was not good for G2. They had multiple members pushed up here, but APG getting the first one and then ends up getting a double kill after that. So APG doing a great job of stopping the push coming in from G2 seemingly by himself. And that's now going to allow Trippy to push forward towards utility and the car side.
OpTic have regained the top map off of this. It'll be so important keeping the pressure up on the base here, especially with the Dynamos too. Perfect shots onto Tusk. APG and Lucid already making the pinch into flag here. So they're gonna have perfect timing too. Lucid with a kill on a Straight Sick. Gilkey does take him. Sab down thanks to Trippy. Should have a chance for the flag here, too. Spawner's going to be up in Fridge, and Trippy going to try to be patient.
3 down win G2, and Tusk was the final player alive. That flag is actually going to be pulled over here. As Trippy trying to get the final kill, not able to do so, ends up being put in the dirt here, but that flag makes it over to the car side. Can G2 get the return?
Definitely a bit of a controller moment out of Trippy there. Couldn't quite swing the reticle, though, like you said, thankfully flag out. Being rallied through car side here. Ola, defensive line. Looks like he does want to collect the flag. Got APG out front to maybe help him out. Ola just needs to make it through utility. They need to get that flag return as well. You can see Gilkey there, line of defense. Not going to make it easy, but the Dynamos will delete him. Straight sick, last one, I guess, along with Tusk to try to get to the flag, but not with Ola covering it. You can't.
Big kill coming out of Pistola that ends up relaying that flag in. So now we have a 2-1 lead going in favor of OpTic Gaming, and they're not slowing down whatsoever. Pistola already getting over towards top car without being shot whatsoever. The Dynamo grenades coming in, giving him that information. Now he goes in for the challenge onto Sab, ends up utilizing the thrust to get the perfect kill, but Gilkey comes in for the cleanup, and Tusk is quickly behind him.
Tony, it's hard to deny the stats, the slays we're seeing out of the side of OpTic here. When you look at that board and you look at Lucid, I mean, 19 and 11 with 11 assists as well. 16 out of APG. These boys are just slaying. They win their 1v1s. When it comes down to it, you win your fights, you're going to get more opportunities. There's a better chance to get a runaway with those flags. And I mean, Lucid about to run away with a double in a second, assuming his teammate doesn't take it from him. Got Gilkey out front too. Gilkey now in trouble, going to have to skate out. Lucid just on the chase.
Lucid definitely one of the best players with the heat wave. He was definitely one of the first ones to really put it into action, and you're seeing it right there, just dropping bodies left and right, getting car control seemingly by himself. Another one tried to slide into his DMs, but he ends up getting blocked, and now that flag is actually still into play as Lucid putting down the shots onto Tusk, stopping from pushing forward. Beautiful. That flag is going to make it towards the utility side, and it's APG advancing forward.
What a nice little display of teamwork, too. They know their roles in that situation. Lucid, he doesn't go for flag, sits up on top car, has a line of defense, puts shots in. APG knows to drop, slide, pick up flag, take it to utility unscathed. They get that flag in for a 3-1, and now G2, they're feeling the pressure. They're dropping left and right, too. No chance for a counter cap.
Largely considered one of the best players in the game. Lucid, 22 kills, 14 assists, only dying 12 times. We have to get him on screen because this young man is going off. Tommy Wilson, show me something.
I mean, you don't even have to ask. You know, he's just, he's a gentleman about it. He'll make it happen. Unless Straight Sick gets in his face before his shields recharge, I guess. Straight Sick not going to live too much longer, though. Trippy there to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere. Trippy, of course, Lucid's duo for a long time now. They work so well together. There's no doubt, big part of the reason why they pull away with a lot of these games.
Trades go in. Meanwhile, Lucid off a screen ends up getting a big kill and still holding on to that heat wave. Shots start to fly over towards Gilkey. Errands himself another assist. That is 16 on the board. 23 kills, 16 assists. This man is really doing almost everything for the team. And everybody stepping up behind him. Love it. Love what I'm seeing right now.
All he really has to do at this point is continue to slay, because now time's becoming a factor. We got a minute 30 left on the clock here. Everyone's spawning back base as APG just being a nuisance, putting shots into him. Gonna stay alive with camo as well. Straight Sick does take Ola. Maybe that gives him a chance to move up, but that chance not gonna last. APG gonna take Tusk, Sab with a trade, but I mean, at this point, they continue to lose numbers, and they don't have enough resources left by the time they get to the damn flag.
APG and Pistola really are a nuisance. They must be the two of the most annoying players in the game. You always got to account for where they are. And they're so creative, but finally Pistola is going to be taken down courtesy of Sab. Meanwhile, Lucid now having the commando enhanced, dodging all of the dynamo grenades and frags as well, trying to defend the space as much as possible. Gilkey goes down to one shot, but the bait and switch going to come in, and Tusk taking down Lucid.
G2 with an opportunity here. Flag in hand, just narrowly getting through the doors here. Sab does have a kill into Trippy as well, so they got the advantage. They got the flag in hand. They can take this up through utility as well. APG does kill Gilkey, but Tusk in position to plant this in. And with limited time to do it, if they can get back to flag here, Tony, they could force a sudden death. So this is not quite over yet. They got to play perfect in the next 20 seconds.
It's not going to be easy, but G2 are within striking distance. They have less than 20 seconds to get a flagpole.
Nice.
They have to get the slays as well. Tusk, well aware of it, ends up getting a big kill, but he's going to be shut down. Momentary 2 down for G2, and Lucid going to slow things down on the utility side.
Lucid going to play goalie. Can he do it, though?
Oh, come on.
No way. And did you see the bag there? He dropped out a couple tactical crouches. He knew that was over. Straight sick. At the very least, you want to see that man get a trade in that situation, but it's the pivotal 1v1s. That's what it comes down to. And OpTic, they just win more often than not, especially when you got Lucid popping off.
The green wall, pulling out the defense there to stop G2 from forcing the sudden death. And they're going to go up 1-0 in this series. Both of these teams undefeated in pools, but only one can emerge the same.
Undefeated until about 35 minutes from now, Tony. Things are about to change. Somebody going to go down, and at this moment, looks like G2 are poised to be them, I guess, the victims. We'll see. They still got a shot, of course, but what an opening game, and I think that really did tell us the story of how things are going to go in this series. Lucid, what, at least 25 kills? I think he had the heat wave, and he had the dynamos a couple situations, but it's the way I think that his teammates stay alive to give him opportunities to be the main slayer that he is. You talked about Ola and you talked about APG, and just they're so annoying. They don't die.
Yeah, I mean, it must be really nice for Lucid to have two players that are willing to poke and dodge, and dodge, stay alive, and then Lucid slides in there and gets multiple kills.
Slides on it.
And then also, when you have the mastery of the heat wave, let me tell you, I don't think I've ever gotten a 2-shot with the heat wave. One man who has, it's definitely Lucid.
You've never got it to come out, Tony.
I'm telling you.
Turn it vertical.
3 shots only. I got it vertical. I got it. It just don't work. It's broken.
All right, we got to get you back in training mode or something. We'll figure it out. Either way, it's not just the heat wave. I think Lucid, a few other players do this like Lucid does. It's control of the entire sandbox.
Yes.
The Plasma Carbine, I think, is a perfect example. Not too many players are picking it up and using it like he does. And when it comes to sandbox, the deepest sandbox out of all competitive maps, I believe, is right here on Recharge. You got a Needler, you got a Plasma Pistol, you got a Disruptor Pistol, you got a Mangler on here, you got a Camo Bottom Man, you got the Sword, you got the Shock Rifle, you got a Grapple, you got a Repulsor. No, Commandos, there's 2 of them. There's one in Attic, there's one in Control.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much on this map. It's Lucid's playground. Can they put him down in game 2? We'll see.
We're going to find out right here, right now, as game number 2 is on the way, and we have to start on board with Lucid himself. And look at the beautiful shots to start off the game, going right at Gilkey. And now the challenge on the Tusk, you cannot stop him. Starting things off with a double kill here in Slayer.
Starting things off with a bang, that's for sure. It is only 3-2. Things are still very close, unless Ola makes a change to it. Now 5-2. G2 Esports at a deficit and about to spawn in the middle of a pinch as well. You can see the shell formed around the map here. You've got a teammate that's Trippy pushing up through pipes, and it's forcing them out into long haul. They got to make a decision, and I like the attempt, but it doesn't matter. Ola's a freaking wizard. He'll find a way to kill Gilkey there.
Ola almost walking himself into a back smack, but somehow able to turn on that player, gets the kill. Now goes in for the challenge onto long haul, almost able to get the second one, as multiple are going to fall here for OpTic Gaming, and G2 now having a chance to bounce back.
Like you said, those kills are huge to earn the map back. Unless Trippy shuts him down, but they don't. They kill Trippy quickly. Okay, so Shock now down in B. Gilkey doesn't want to desperate for it. The remaining 3 members of OpTic, they're pushing like a unit up through C. And trying to rotate through the map and be elusive. We got APG, of course, on screen. Wants to make sure nobody gets to that Shock. I think the Shock is still sitting out center. As I say, we got Lucid with a sword. Don't give this man a grapple. He's got a repulsor, so just wait. He's going to play this patient, but things might get dicey.
2 players here on the control side of the map here. Lucid trying to help out toward the goal, so I got to be careful. Don't shoot your teammate too much, and holding on to the bottom tower is Lucid. So I love this setup coming here out of OpTic Gaming. They already have the lead, so why not slow the game down and force G2 to make a move?
G2 with the respect, though, too. They're slowing it to a crawl as well. Nobody wants to make a move. They need that opening slay for impact here, and Trippy, being the aggressor, sits on top of Camo, gets it, too. Looks like Gilkey can't return fire, but Sab can! Not sure where he was, but Sabby had an angle. And he just ripped Trippy's face off in the camo off the map as well. So G2, great work with that one.
Lucid now going to advance forward over toward the long haul side. It looks like they want to make a move onto the gold side of the map. Lucid putting down the early shots onto the players in Whirlpool. Now whipping out the sword.
done.
Player having no idea. Goes down. The Predator's in. Another one in his sights. Not able to get it just yet. Oh, and there's the double kill onto straight sick.
Man, when you got a sword, it's so brutal. Even if you're like no shields, if you melee trade with the sword player, it's going to red bar every time. That's just how it works in this game. Sword is so strong in those trades, and you're going to go down to it. Lucid, knowing that, you got to love how he moves with his sprint, too, to avoid fire. We'll see if Sab can do something special to steal our attention, though. Tony, he's still got the shock. He's got positioning. Once again, an APG. Be careful, APG. He can take faces.
And one thing I'm noticing, which is really unorthodox for both of these teams, is there's 0 assists across the board for 6 out of the 8 players in here. Finally, Ola able to pull off an assist, but a lot of individual gunfights, especially alongside the G2, where all 4 assists are going to Tusk and everybody else having 0 on the team. But we're finally starting to see some come onto the board here.
Starting to wonder if Sab might have rotated a little too far with that shock. Ended up getting double for it. If he just plays it patient, holds the angle, he's locking off a section of the map. Thankfully for him, though, Tusk does collect the shock. Maybe he can bring it back here. There's a player directly above, though. Tusk, does he hear it? Mangler in hand. It's APG. APG not ready for this. And there's no chance of survival for him either. Turn this into 2, Tusk, or stay alive. I mean, as long as he's here, it's valuable.
One of the only players that I've seen actually have a Mangler and a shock rifle as a combo and really putting it to work is Tusk. I'm surprised he hasn't decided to drop that Mangler or something else for another player, but I mean, as long as it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as APG sliding in, and I believe he was able to get away with the camo and activate it as well.
That was a game-changing headshot that Tusk was tasked with there. Unfortunately, it didn't hit it, Tony, and because of it, APG now has free reign. Look at this. How does he play it? Straight sick. Oh, he throws a nade. Doesn't matter. Gonna take a free back smack. Straight sick will call that out, though. Sab is now aware. And what does APG do to win 2 fights? Beautiful on the Gilkey. Almost gets out, but Tusk is ready for it. Lucid down low, too. And look at the dance from Lucid here as he's once again a difficult kill.
Lucid ends up going down. Sab going to be awarded the kill for that one. We're going to hop on board now with Sabinator having the shock rifle, probably the most important player in the game right now. Only down by 2 kills, but this can be the difference maker.
Yes, it can. Perfect out of Sab, and it can continue too. Ola trapped up in control. G2, they've got map control off of this, right? An extension from Attic all the way over to A. This is exactly where they need to be. And it gives Sab the opportunity he's been waiting for to line up shots. So hopefully this can continue. Tony, wait a sec, this might be it right here. Just don't challenge the man. Lucid's sitting down low too. Oh! Don't challenge him.
Another big shot coming out of Sabinator with the shock rifle. Now going to take some damage. Finally forced to back down, but he still has Gilkey along the gold side of the map as he tries to line up the no-scope. Not quite hitting it.
Sab still trying to lock it down from pipes, playing it patient. Something we've noticed with G2, starkly different from other teams. They just hold position. They know they've got a good spot in the map. Why move? OpTic, they need to find a way through, though. They need to break in, whether it's a flank. Maybe APG will be the one to do it. Maybe he can sneak up through. Maybe Ola instead. He'll take the fight onto straight sick. And that's the opening that they're looking for. It gives him high ground in an angle cross map into Gilkey. All of a sudden, G2's options limited.
Pistola shots flying in from the control side of the map, and even Lucid coming in from the whirlpool, but that player being annoying on the B side pillars ends up getting away with their life, and APG just chilling over toward the gold side, rent-free at the moment. It's 27-23, and Trippy having the camouflage and the sword goes right in after straight sick. His teammate ends up taking down Gilkey over towards the C stairs, and OpTic are really starting to put some separation in the scoreboard.
Great rotation out of Trippy, too. He gets out of bottom map up to a great spot. Looks like Tusk is still in a fight out in pipes, though, here. He does get away with the... Actually, no, Ola will take him. So Trippy being in this spot, huge anchor position, too. You can see Lucid, his teammate, cross map. He can light things up, but he's got to watch his left-hand side. Lucid, Ola going to tag team their way through A in the meantime. And this is the split they're looking for. Trippy about to go in for a pinch here. Oh, okay. I mean, that's one way to close the distance.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When you combine the grapple with the sword, you are an absolute unit. You're seeing it to play by Trippy, and now you're seeing Lucid utilizing the Mangler, but the assist going to come in. But Lucid will fall Pistola coming in out of play. Straight Stick getting a big kill off a screen here as it is 35-28, still in favor of OpTic Gaming.
You could definitely come back off this. G2 could, I mean, they could find an answer. It's been a slow battle of attrition here, Tony, but it's just, it seems like the lead continues to extend despite the game plan at a G2. It's a little unorthodox, too. I don't think I've ever seen a Recharge Slayer at this pace, Tony, to be honest. And at first, I felt like it was working for G2, but now it's hard to say. 37 at this point, and OpTic, they continue to pull away.
I was gonna say, what's working? I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. It ain't working.
It was earlier. I mean, I was like, okay, this is cool. They're holding position. They got map control. They're not giving up free deaths. But now it's just, it doesn't matter. They're being pinched, running out of opportunities. And I mean, the Mangler's gonna put him down too. Ola with 2. And Ola doesn't even want the sword. Maybe give it to Trippy. Man, they got everything.
They got all the power weapons along with a 10-kill lead at the moment. Pistola going in for the challenge onto Straight Stick. However, he is going to be shut down, but look at the damage. It's been done. There's an 8-kill advantage going in favor of OpTic Gaming.
Trippy just going to hold things off in the hallway. The other long haul as well. We got Ola sitting there too. Lucid just going to sit with the sword. The pace of play in this game slowed to a crawl. And will it move? Why bother, right? OpTic doesn't need the budge here, Tony. Lucid just going to sound, can we say sound whore on broadcast? He's just going to listen for footsteps. Straight Stick knows he's there too, and he does not want to budge.
Daddy doesn't. Neither one of these teams want to make any mistakes whatsoever. Okay. The remote detonation coming in, but not able to get the kill. Still, great damage coming in.
The slowest game of Recharge Slayer I've ever seen, Tony. I mean, I respect it, but we got to see a play. We need to see a play at a G2. We need to see it quick. Time's starting to become a factor, too. You can see it bleeding. We're about to hit the 2-minute mark. Sab just going to continue to put shots in, but knows he can't stay out long. He's got Tusk with him, too. How do they break through? Just one big kill. Do you just send multiple through an angle, right? Do you just say, you know, let's send Straight Stick and Gilkey straight through the hallway, just assault Lucid. Or Lucid just waits too. And that's the communication too. They knew they were taking his attention, and then Lucid timed his approach perfectly. So did Sab. My God, a double.
Double kill coming out of Sab. Both Lucid and Sab having a sword in hands. And with 1 minute and 46 seconds on the clock, it looks like G2 will have to make a move. We might see a sword-on-sword action, but Lucid ends up being taken down over towards the gold side. Gilkey ends up getting a big kill as well onto APG, and now gold side control in favor of G2.
I really wanted to see that sword fight, Tony.
I did too.
Unfortunately, we didn't get it. 43-36 here, still not out of the running for G2. And Sab, he's got everything he could need, except his life, unfortunately. Ola Lucid, what a nade at a Lucid too to shut him down. Now it's up to Tusk with a lot of responsibility, and so far so good. Perfect kill on the Trippy. Who else is a victim here? Lucid up top, doesn't quite hit it. He's still going for it here. 38-45, they drop, and it's over.
Tusk still having that shock rifle in hands and also having a sword, advancing forward into the control side. Nobody there just yet, but he does also have a teammate there. Body shot's barely gonna miss. Lucid ends up getting the trade off, and all 4 down go G2, and that might be it. OpTic only needing 1 more kill.
That looked like the kind of push a team would do if they have less than a minute left to win the game, Tony, because it just looked exasperated. It looked like they were under pressure. They're like, we gotta push now. We gotta make it happen or it's game over, and they did, and it was sloppy, and because of it, OpTic Gaming walk away with a 50-40 in game 2 as well. A long-fought battle from these teams, but OpTic right now, they're leading.
That they are. It's a 2-0 lead in favor of OpTic. G2 have looked good and multiple times during this series so far, but they haven't seemed to put it all together to create a game, and now they're in danger of being knocked out in this series here and not coming out on top. Again, coming out on top in your pools means you're guaranteed to get into winner's bracket round number 2 when we go into bracket play.
Right, right. Interesting game to witness, though. And, you know, it takes me back to the interview we saw with Ola and the fact that the meta is always changing, always evolving. That Recharge Slayer played very differently than any other Recharge Slayer I've seen previously. They tend to go so quickly, especially if you're watching a team like OpTic. They're sorry, like C9. They're very quick to collapse on split spawns and just get right in there. As opposed to this matchup where we just saw one team hold off one section of the map, one team on the other, and just kind of waiting for that impact play. Unfortunately, this long-term battle didn't quite work out for G2. Maybe it will here. Oddball on streets. Can't quite play the map the same way this time. You've got an objective to fight over.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, if any map you can slow things down, it's probably going to be on Recharge, but going into a really small map like Streets, they're guaranteed to be forced to get into multiple engagements, especially as you advance forward to try to break some of the setups that both of these teams want to get their hands on.
And what kind of setups do we want to see here, Tony? What are you thinking?
I mean, the C-side setup is still somewhat strong, but I'm still preferring the APD side. I feel like all you have to do is have multiple eyes on the B street, have somebody either top A or some way watching that mid angle, and having one person watching the purple street, and you have literally all lanes being blocked off. Meanwhile, you're holding height advantage. You're looking down on your opponent. You're getting cheeky damage while making it hard for your opponent fighting uphill. I'm still a fan of that PD side setup.
The combination of the high ground plus the map control, I mean, yeah, what do you do, right? You got 4 players in great positions. Like you said, you spread them out on the perimeter, you get the ball back A. If you get the stalker up there, I mean, it's game over. You've got sight lines straight through center map. You can drop them pretty easily, I mean, hopefully, off of it. Not to say that the setup can be broken, too, but if it is broken, then you just toss the ball out center and kind of reset things as well. So we'll see what these teams do. Of course, Subway side works as well. Any of these setups can work as long as your teammates are in the right position. You got the right timing for it, and you time it around something like a rocket launcher as well. It's going to always pull the teams into center. And
that's exactly what's going to happen, right? No matter what the setup is on the map, as soon as those power-ups start to come up, it's going to force teams to break off from their setup and make sure they get a hold of the goodies. Otherwise, your opponent's going to get them, and your setup's going to get broken anyway. So the rockets are going to heavily come into play. That Bulldog can definitely be a difference maker on the map. I'm a big fan of the Bulldog. I'm sorry. It's just
I think it's the best shotty we've seen in competitive yet, to be honest. Shotguns in Halo, I feel like, have always been kind of controversial because of the play style associated. If you can one-pump somebody with a shotgun, you can just sit behind a wall. And I think in Halo 5 we saw that a lot. Top tower on Rig, you just sit there, you just wait for somebody to get close, just one-shot them. There's no counterplay, there's no dance. But I think the Bulldog, it's still powerful, but there's still an opportunity to counter. So makes for some good gameplay, at least in competitive. And we'll see that competitive gameplay very shortly. The match is still getting started. As soon as it's ready, we're going to jump in. And thankfully, it looks like we're almost there.
That we are. Game number 3. OpTic Gaming are literally one win away from putting G2 out of it. G2 fighting for their pool lives right now. They do not want to go down it. And we've seen reverse sweeps happen before. Will we see it again, Alex?
I hope so. It's the last matchup of the day here. Give me a Game 5 G2. Show me you got the energy. Show me that you came to play. I know they did. OpTic might be one of their top competitors to face, but if you could beat OpTic, I mean, the sky's the limit. So this is it right here. Their last opportunity in the last series of the day. Streets, Oddball. Who should we start with, Tony? It might not happen, but just...
I mean, we got to start with Lucid. I mean, Lucid literally is an animal on any map that he's on, but especially Streets. I talked about it before, though. I think G2 have been looking really good in tournament play and in scrims, and I want to see them put it together here on land. So I want to see G2 put a win on the board, but it's going to start right here. I truly believe in these guys. Let's see what happens.
Ask and you shall receive. Game 3 on board with Lucid. And who else but Lucid to start things off? Trippy with the opening kill. Lucid with a bead on Degilki, cross map. Gonna slowly tiptoe his way out to either the ball or the rockets. Looks like instead he wants the shotgun. APG with the rocks. He'll take a kill from the grave. Lucid still up. Lucid gonna try to rotate ball and work with the shotty as well. You can see Trippy already flanked through, but Lucid now down numbers. Thankfully not down artillery.
Yeah, 3 down win OpTic, so you're seeing Lucid quickly start to drop the ball because he has to get some slays on the board before they're able to make an advantage here. Meanwhile, Sab sees the down ball. He's going to steal it away. G2 are taking advantage of their numbers, and Gilkey having the Stalker rifle on the purple side of the map.
Despite the strong opening, we saw at OpTic Gaming there. They got the slays they needed to, brought the ball back. I love the attempt at a Gilkey. Unfortunately, he didn't get the kill, but they earned time off of it. 17 seconds, too. That's about to change, though. Lucid back in Subway. Lucid with a vantage point on the Tusk as well. Going to try to stay up, give themselves a chance for the ball.
17-7 lead going in favor of G2 at the moment, but Lucid quickly getting his hands on the ball, not able to get away, though. Does OpTic Gaming with that ball, and they're starting to fall here as 3 down go OpTic Gaming. Trippy, the final player alive to try to fend off this ball. Beautiful play. One grabs the ball. Gilkey then uses his body to kind of meat shield for the enemy team, and Trippy not able to put any shots on that ball carry. The setup is now becoming locked in by G2.
Gilkey is okay with dying or taking a couple shots as long as Sab walks away with a few extra points, right? 29 at this point. Unfortunately, if they all die, OpTic's going to very quickly turn the tides here. Trippy just looking for a victim of the Sentinel beam. Can't do it. Shoddy going to work out for Sab instead. Tusk has the ball once again. So G2, like you said, you've seen them in scrims. You've seen the practice they put in. They could put it together here. Unless, of course, the Rockets make a change to it. But even Ola has to work for these Rockets.
We've actually seen multiple 3 down go in favor of G2. And this is the G2 that I wanted to see. I mean, they've showed so much improvement. And now they're putting it to work right here with a 43-10 lead. Lucid ends up getting a double kill, though. And now they're going to try to advance forward and break this setup as 2 down, make that 3 down, make that all 4 players going down for G2.
That double at Elusive was the push they needed. It gave the rest of the team the confidence to fly in, clean up the scraps, and then recollect the ball. Straight does get his kill. APG immediately answers. So ball still on the side of OpTic Gaming. You're 25 and counting. G2, it's their turn to provide an answer. If you're going to answer it, yeah, take Lucid first. That's a great opening.
And APG going down the one shot, ends up going in for the challenge. Sab winning that individual gunfight. OpTic still putting points on the board. Sabinator now going to try to catch any kind of angle to try to put that initial damage that they need. Straight Sick ends up getting the kill, but Lucid cleaning him up real quick, and Sabinator still alive over towards that back C side.
Not for long, though. Ola's got a beat on him. Got Lucid behind him, too, with the pinch, so Lucid will take it. Ball down. Ola looking to pick it up. Does he want to hold it, though? He's got the shotty. And then I think Lucid he's got a Sentinel beam, too. They got all the weapons they need. And clean up Gilkey for free as well. Lucid with the thrust can get right back into cover. Going to keep the defense up, and if he stays up, he'll be in position for Rockets, and I guess Stalker, too. He's got it all. Thankfully, they do kill Ola, so Lucid's got to back off. Who's going to get the Rockets, though?
Trippy is going to be advancing forward over towards back C, able to get his hands on the ball, so that Rocket's not up quite yet. But OpTic in a great position to bait it, especially as taking G2 down, and Straight Sick going to go down as well. And there we go. APG having the Rockets in hand. That's going to be a quick kill onto his team, a former teammate, Gilkey. And APG holding on to that B-side street by himself with the Rockets in hand.
This is something you can't see happen in Oddball, right? In a situation like this where, like, how do they have everything, right? They got the ball in back C. That means that there's a player committed in back C who can't do much damage, who's sitting back there collecting time. So G2, they're at a numbers advantage. And you would think with a numbers advantage, you would win the fight for Rockets, but something didn't quite click. And because of it, now they're running away with both ball time and resources and slays to add to it, too. Trippy, he will go down to Tusk, but 87 at this point. Okay.
I don't know what y'all, something definitely clicked. It definitely clicked in favor of OpTic, maybe not from G2, but something definitely clicked. Meanwhile, the bad manners starting to come in on the kill feed as maybe some players starting to get a little bit frustrated here as it's a 67-57 lead going in favor of OpTic Gaming.
Can G2 reverse this? Can they get a hold, but can they also prioritize weapons? Because that's what OpTic has been doing so well in this game. Even if they're down numbers, they find a way to transition, to get the angles in when they need to, just to make sure they walk away with a weapon. Of course, in the meantime here, set up still and hold for G2, 73 and counting. Gilkey, nice use of the drop wall. Gonna snap onto Ola too, he's now down. Do you drop the ball, get the slate? You do, Sap picks that up, so 78 and counting as they close the gap.
Love the drop wall play coming in out of Gilkey, and I love the fact that they're playing such hard defense. G2 are trying to make a run here. They know what's on the line, but Lucid slides in, ends up getting the initial kill, then whips out the Bulldog to get the double kill. Straight Sick getting the cleanup kill, but 3 down go G2, leaving Straight Sick by himself.
G2 with a double dilemma here. Rocket's about to spawn up, but OpTic has the ball. They need to get to the ball. They can't afford to go to Rockets here, so 7 points. Gilkey's still a nuisance in back base. Can Gilkey at least get a kill here? Does manage to get a trade. Ball's still down. OpTic in position to pick it up, though, and I don't see anyone from G2. There, we got Straight Sick with the Rocket. Straight Sick will just fire one into back base and hope for something, but it's not enough. The first round gonna go over to OpTic, and a nice display of teamwork to close it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Alex. I was a believer for a second.
Yeah.
I really thought G2 was gonna come back and steal that game away. However, OpTic Gaming just does what OpTic Gaming do best. 2-0 lead going in favor of the green wall.
They're prioritizing the right things at the right time, right? In the very end there, all they needed was the ball time. Despite losing the Rockets there, they had the positioning, they had the ball, they walked away with it. Now Lucid, I mean, he's got the stalker. He's already got an opening kill. A beat onto Gilkey too. Gilkey, watch out. Sab, watch out. Almost killed himself. Did he get a kill with that? I think he might have got the rocket kill, I hope. Maybe not.
And we see Pistola, you're getting a disruptor kill. We don't see many disruptor kills coming in, but the sandbox really being opened up. Pistola trades off that disruptor for the Rockets, ends up putting it to work immediately as OpTic Gaming quickly go into their setup.
OpTic with a setup on high ground this time in PD. Sab and Tusk with 2 kills, so very quickly, ball played out to center. APG knows he needs to slay, and slay he will. Tusk now down. APG might kill himself in a sec. Might have thought that was a frag. Looks like Lucid does drop as well. APG still going to try to stay up in this situation, but things looking very dicey for the man as Straight Sick drops him. Can they get to the ball and convert this, though? I like that rotation. A little brief moment of time here.
Straight Sick able to steal that ball away while avoiding as much damage as possible and then living rent-free over on the tire side. Excellent job by him for valuing his life and cheeking away so much ball time as he's still alive, putting points on the board. Tusk now going to chase down APG, going down to 1 shot, but more importantly, getting the kill.
Getting the kill gives him the position to get more kills, too. Shots into Trippy. He's down numbers, though. Look at this. Ola, Lucid through the door. What do? The full team collapsing on the man. And ball time, well, they do it. 15 and counting here. Lucid talked about his use of the sandbox. Carbine back in hand here.
And there we go. Firing off that pulse carbine, getting a little bit of damage in, and now starting to up the tempo. Ends up finding Gilkey onto the purple street side, but you got to deal with Sab first. Sab and Tusk working a little 1-2 combo. Bait and switch comes in, and G2 once again getting a bit of numbers.
Did G2 walk away with Rockets, though? That's the biggest question, right? Because Rockets were spawning. They got 2 pivotal kills. There. Yep, Straight Sick has it. And he got a kill onto Ola as well. This is the difference maker. If G2 can walk away with more power weapons this time, I think they can hold a setup. So Straight Sick, I mean, look at that. Beautiful. Trippy now down, shoddy in hand. That's the type of weaponry he needs.
Ends up utilizing the last rocket to take down the Bulldog player, gets himself a Bulldog. Man, everything going in favor of Straight Sick. But I would like to actually see him trade off this ball for somebody and really kind of make use of that Bulldog. But we're going to see exactly how that comes into play as they're still holding on to their setup. Gilkey off the screen, getting the double kill. Straight Sick immediately dropping the ball, trying to get that Bulldog kill. But sadly, when we're coming with dropping the ball and pulling the Bulldog out, it's just too much timing where if he didn't have the ball in hands, that would have been an easy kill.
Right, if he passes the ball off and he's just sitting at the doorway with a shotgun, that's an easy kill like you said. Lucid, I like the movement there too. Going to be very difficult as he sits perched on the ledge. He does die. But yeah, G2 with little opportunities here that they can't quite turn into large score totals. Maybe it's slight misplays, maybe it's timing, whatever it is. Tusk is still finding ways to maneuver here. 49 and counting. The pressure about to be on from OpTic though.
Lucid trying to slide and taking a little bit of team damage here. The ball just sitting over towards that mid, and Lucid wants to be the forward player instead of grabbing the ball. Love that play coming by Lucid. High IQ play, but not able to get the trade off in kills as 3 down go OpTic Gaming, and G2 once again are poised to make a run.
G2 immediately off the round of slays. They take the ball, they bring it back into Subway, so efficient play out of them. Rockets are going to draw their attention once again, though. Sab just died. Lucid in position. They got to find a way to get a sightline on the Rockets here, or they will give them up. Tusk in a great spot to do it. Straight Sick with the angle. Trippy going to try to push through that hallway. He's likely going to face off with Tusk, and he does. He got Straight Sick as a line of defense. He's got to ice up here and hit these shots. Can he do it through the plants? Probably not. I think OpTic going to walk away with that rocket.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen at home, both of these teams are undefeated at the moment. The winner of this goes into winner's bracket round 2, going into bracket play. Both of these teams want this, but only one can come out with that advantage going into tomorrow. 3 down go G2. Gilkey, the final player alive with the Bulldog, but not able to get the kill as OpTic Gaming, once again, having all the advantages.
G2 definitely looking a little bit more flexible in their strategy this time. It was quite a fight for OpTic to get these rockets, so they did get them. And I love that out of Trippy, too. Doesn't burn them. I think any other player could have panicked in that situation. But Trippy, instead, he gets so much more. He'll take Gilkey, just barely alive. Looks like he will get dropped. I think the rockets might be burned, though.
Trippy ends up being taken down. G2 are going to start to push forward. Actually, Lucid going to be the first one to die, or the second one, I should say, excuse me. Tusk now advancing forward with that Bulldog as that ball is rotating toward the purple side. Tusk gets the kill, now going in for the double. Just going to barely miss that nade. Watch out, don't nade yourself. You still got a player in front of you, and sadly, he's going to go down, but the cleanups come in. OpTic go 3 down, and G2 are still locked in.
G2 fighting tooth and nail. They're brawling. Now 81 points. And they could close this out with one more good setup. Lucid, though, you got to shut him down if that's going to happen. Lucid now has the ball, going to rotate it out to A here. Trippy above to help up on Heaven. Who breaks out, though? Tusk definitely not the one to do it. 3 members still up on G2 to try to push.
OpTic Gaming still down in points, but they're only 1 round away from closing out this series. G2 would have to put back-to-back rounds on the board. Lucid fighting off with the Bulldog, ends up getting the first player, goes back for the double chow. That's going to be a double kill coming out of Tommy Wilson, who's starting to heat up.
You don't want Lucid heating up late game in Oddball here. Things about to get dangerous for G2 if they don't kill him quick. Especially with Trippy and the Rockets as well. Look at that, 2 dead on the feed, ball in their hands, and Trippy still hasn't even used these yet. He could put something together real quick. Nice little curb slide, too. Can't ignore it. Gets him right back and forth. He can go from B stairs back and forth with the movement here. Be elusive. All for that one moment that he gets a rocket kill.
Trippy able to take down Gilkey, anticipating the push for the cleanup. Ends up getting Straysick down to 1 shot. Not able to get the kill, but luckily the cleanups are coming in. Meanwhile, Tusk throwing some denial nades, but Ola gonna put him down, and that is it. OpTic Gaming pull off the sweep onto G2, and they're gonna be going to winner's bracket round 2 in tomorrow's bracket.
Unbelievable. What a heartbreaker, too, for G2. They had that round. It was a slow, hard-fought battle, but they were winning their fights. They had control in C in multiple occasions. They even prioritized power weapons throughout the first, I want to say, 2/3 of that game more efficiently than they did in the first round. But at the very end, 1 setup was all it took for Lucid and OpTic to break through. And that 1 setup, unfortunately, was coupled with every single weapon, right? Lucid had the shoddy, Trippy waiting down low B stairs with the rockets. The combination of it all, plus the ball time, I mean, G2, they couldn't find an answer. And I mean, you look at the scoreline, that tells you quite a bit.
That it does. Lucid pulling off a 25 bomb. Ola with 24 of his own. Lucid also dropping 12 dimes as well in the assist column. They're just beautiful plays across the board. It just shows how OpTic were able to take control of that game. G2, they had moments, but sadly that wasn't enough. Now your number 1 seeded team going into Raleigh end up going into bracket play undefeated.
It's got to be tough in G2's position because 3-0 on the sheet, on the paper, which I got to make sure you don't have too much of later on in the tournament, Tony. 3-0 on the paper, but it just seems so close every time. You change, you make a couple little changes, you win a couple fights. Next thing you know, G2 walks away with a game. It just seems so close in these instances. But then you look at it on board, and you just see green. OpTic just running away with CTF, Slayer recharge, Oddball as well, and OpTic, like you said, going to move on into day 2 undefeated because of it.
With those 3 wins in a row, is that the green wall? Is that the green wall that everybody's talking about?
You should just all 5, just to give it, make it all green, and then it's just impenetrable at that point. I mean, I'm scared. Too much green, right? Apparently, green, by the way, when you're trying to select your outline colors, I heard that there's like a scientific fact that green is the easiest color for the eye to spot. I haven't changed it because of that. I just heard if you want to, like, on the low, if you want to change your outline to green, give it a try, see what happens. Anyway, Greenwall, they dominate today, regardless of whether or not you could see them, because the moment you see them, you're dead, right? So, Masters on the sticks. But it's only the beginning, and that's the thing is OpTic beating G2 isn't a big surprise in comparison to the expectations I think we have for them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Like I said, I was really proud with how G2 have been coming out on top and playing in those recent online tournaments and even looking in scrims because, to be honest, in the early side of Halo Infinite, they really weren't looking that good, but I feel like they have made leaps and bounds and as far as understanding the game and understanding creating the meta. I hope to see them have a little bit of a better time than obviously getting swept going into bracket play, but the good thing for them is that they're not in the lower half. They're actually not going to drop into the elimination bracket. They're actually in the top half, so they'll start off in winner's bracket round number 1, where, as I mentioned before, OpTic will end up having to start off in the winner's bracket round 2, getting almost a bye, if you will. Meanwhile, Complexity and UYU they both weren't able to pull off a win, so I wonder how that's going to come out in the wash.
Interesting seeing the final tally here. I don't think everything is completely finalized. I think there are still a couple matches that might be playing, maybe either on the Charlie or the Delta broadcast. Like you said, G2, thankfully for them, they're on the upper portion of their pool here. OpTic coming out 3-0. Interesting to take a peek at the Pool A as well, Tony. I had the pleasure of being on the desk for pre-series. I went with my heart on my prediction, and I said Sentinels would take it, but I was wrong. Cloud9, they walked away. They got a 3-0. I wonder how closely contested that series was. FaZe with a 3-0 as well. Great to see out of them. Fnatic at 2-1 in second place. Fnatic with a low performance when they first signed, now starting to make waves, so very curious to see how far they go. And then on the other side, you got United Pioneers. I think that pool is not finished, right?
No.
They got to face off at some point.
Yeah, they're going to be facing each other to find out who's going to actually come out undefeated. So my four surprises right there is Esports Red coming out with the win on top of Oxygen Esports. And I would say on paper, they would be better. And then so that's 2 surprises. And then you have Fnatic coming out on top of SSG, where SSG on paper probably should have been that second place team. Instead, they're in last place and weren't able to pull off a single win. So I would say those 2 matchups really surprising to me.
Right. Couple surprises early on. Of course, it's still Friday. The beauty of it, though, right, is that no teams are out of the tournament. We still get to see all of them, whether they're in the lower bracket or the winner bracket. That's just what's being decided. But great to see so much high-level competition and so much more coming up in this tournament. Of course, this is going to be it for the B stream. Before we jump away, Tony, it's been a pleasure, my dude. Any final thoughts for Friday? We got a lot more coming up, like, kind of teams that you're looking forward to seeing, or any final thoughts coming off this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Cloud9 have been undefeated coming over since Raleigh and coming into Anaheim, which is pretty crazy to think about. I mean, that was like 5 back-to-back. They're going for the 5-peat. Wins going in favor of Cloud9. You have
4. It was 4. Now they're going for 5. Yeah.
You have Sentinels obviously fully loaded with now Royal 2 being eligible to play. Really excited to watch them and see their growth throughout the bracket. And then you have FaZe. FaZe, very good squad. They're right there, and they could pop off on land. Same with E United. So I would say those are my 4 teams.
Their Pioneers might land, right? E United, Pioneers, they still have yet to face off. I believe that is going to take place on the main broadcast. So go to twitch.tv/Halo. Make sure you check that out. This is it for the B stream. We're done and dusted here. Tony, once again, it's been a pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to Xbox as well for our main sponsor for this stream. We got plenty more B stream coming up, so can't wait to rejoin you tomorrow. But in the meantime, it's been a pleasure. Go over to Halo, twitch.tv/Halo. We'll see you there.